and I came across one from the Southern Miss account that labeled or said 21 students from USM's DuBard School for Language Disorders are getting to reunite with their local school districts in the upcoming school year with the ability to speak, read, and write. And I thought, man, this is a good thing. And as an alumni for Southern Miss, spent, oh my gosh, I don't know how many years on that campus. I had no idea that this school was a part of the university's program. So I am happy to say that I've got in the studio with me today Miss Sarah Myers. She is the director of the Children's Center for Communication and Development. She's also a speech and language pathologist. And with her, I have Missy, who is the director of the DuBard School for Language Disorders, because you two kind of work together in some ways to make these type of success stories come true. So welcome, ladies.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
All right, Missy, I'm going to start with you, get you a little closer, and then because the tweet was about them graduating your school, going back into school, give us a little background about DuBard School for Language Disorders.
Okay, thank you, Rebecca. Our school has been on campus at Southern Miss since 1962. Dr. Etoile DuBard is our founder, and she studied with children who were deaf and learned a way to help them learn or help us teach them in a different manner. So she brought her skills to Southern Miss. She started with 3 students. We've been in a variety of locations around campus, but we have been in our new school for almost 20 years. You know how things, they used to be new, but we still call it the new school. So our children come to us in cooperation with their local school districts. All of the children have a special education ruling, and so they come to us so that we can help serve their needs in speech, language, hearing, and academic skills.
Is the end game sort of to reunite them back with their local school district, or is this a public school on the university's campus for them to sort of, or either or?
Okay, we are part of USM's campus, and we're always happy to be there, but we work as an extension of the local school districts. So we work with about 20 or 25 districts across the state, and we serve those children who we have made the determination with our districts that we would be a good place for them. So our children have a wide range of disabilities. Some of them have very significant speech disorders. Some of them have just flat-out old language disorders. Some of them are on the other side of that continuum and are more of a reading problem, more of a dyslexic type child. And so our goal is to get the children as young as we can. We enroll children starting as early as about age 4, and then we keep them until they're about 12. And then our goal is to transition them back to their school. Of course, they don't all stay that long. Some of them leave earlier than others.
I was going to say, in 12 is what? 7th grade, 6th, 7th grade?
6th or 7th grade, yes.
I'm doing the math in my head. You just subtract 5 because that's when they start in
That's right.
in kindergarten, and sometimes math can get hard on air. Okay, so the other piece to this, at least on USM's campus, is with you, Sarah. You are the director of Children's Center for Communication and Development. So how are you different but yet similar to what they're doing at DuBard?
Yeah, thank you, Rebecca, for having me. That's a great question. So the Children's Center is a nonprofit located, like you said, on USM's campus. We have a center on the Hattiesburg campus and on Gulf Park's campus. We serve the babies. So we provide cost-free therapy services to children ages birth to 5. And all of our children that we serve have complex developmental disabilities. So yes, at 5, typically, they also go back into their public school system.
So how would a family find you guys there at the Children's Center?
Yeah. So we have some absolutely amazing, as you started off talking about our social media at Southern Miss, we have some wonderful social media sites. So we have Instagram. You can follow us on USM Children's Center CTR. And then on Facebook, of course, you can search the Children's Center USM to find us. And then, obviously, you can find us on USM's website, usm.edu/Children's Center. And you can find all kinds of great information about us. But if you're just interested in learning more, it also has a link to our wait list. So just like DuBard School, we have a wait list for services. But as Missy stated, we always look to meet the needs of the most significant needs essentially in children and the youngest. So typically at the Children's Center, we'll even work with a mom who got a prenatal diagnosis of a child that their baby may be born with Down syndrome, for instance. Or we'll go to the local hospital's neonatal intensive care unit and screen some of those babies and make sure that we're not seeing anything that would cause us to help get them some services to help them develop.
Well, waitlist means you're up to good with what you're doing there at the center, but then it also brings to a larger conversation about the needs of resources for families when it comes to these sort of communication and developmental delays that keep them from reuniting with, their local school districts. So I'm curious, when you think about, or what are some of the more common maybe communication, or maybe this would be for you, Missy, there at the Language Disorder School of DuBard. What are the more common ones that you see families coming to you that maybe aren't at the top of the list because it's not necessarily that severe case, but that yet they're still wanting resources for their kids?
Mm-hmm. So we have our enrollment program, which does enroll. We have 80 children who come to us all day, every day, just like a typical public school. They come to us every day, but we also have an out-client program, which is a fee-based program. Our enrollment program is at no cost to families. We do have an out-client program, which is a lot like a traditional speech therapy clinic. So individuals can come and receive services from toddlers to adults. We can see those individuals and provide more of a traditional twice a week or 3 times a week therapy model. Additionally, we also serve because not every child is going to be well served by what we do at the DuBard School. So we have developed a wide range of resources that if we have a baby who is coming and has all these speech language issues, of course we're going to say, well, our friends next door at the Children's Center would be a great resource. Or a child maybe needs some behavioral therapy. Then we have, ABA services that we can recommend. We always, of course, ask our students or ask our families to, their local school district is a great resource for children who we are not able to enroll for one reason or another. But our school districts are a great resource. Their pediatricians are a good resource. So we have, in Mississippi, we have a lot of excellent resources that we can give to families who have children with disabilities.
And correct me if I'm wrong, either one of you can take this question. Now having 2 girls, my last one being only less than 2 years ago, so it's a little more fresh, but it feels like here in Mississippi we've got great, things in place that screeners in place, whether it's in, once the baby's born, before it ever leaves the hospital. There's certain things that go through with screening for disabilities or developmental maybe delays when it comes to speech. And then is it like kindergarten? I see you shaking your head, Sarah. As a speech pathologist, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't know the names of the screeners, but I have been told that Mississippi gets a gold star when it comes to early detection. I think it's the words I'm looking for.
Yeah, that's a great point, Rebecca. So, and one of the things, as Missy spoke to, at the Children's Center that we do when you spoke to pediatricians and those early screeners that we talk about we get in the hospital, like our hearing screeners, those are so vital because you need to catch these things early on. We know that brain development happens so early and that 90% of the brain is developed by age 3. And that's just remarkable. So when we talk about early identification of children and their needs, like Missy stated, we work with our Department of Health Early Intervention System and our Department of Education system to make sure all those checks are in place so that we can make sure the kids that have the most significant needs get to Missy and I, and we get to hopefully help address those needs very quickly.
Because I assume the families that are coming to you, especially to you, Sarah, with a baby or an infant, it's stressful and you feel very discouraged because one of the top things, you want your kids to be healthy, number one, but you also want them to be able to learn, grow, succeed, move on, reach their highest dreams. And there's just so many frustrations and anxieties for parents with just, kids that don't have anything that they're battling against to go through the school system. I can only imagine. Right. And to have those sort of resources available